Joining us now, our Odyssey NFL insider, Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast, Insider Calls, brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Baldy, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm just pulling into Daytona Beach here, getting ready for the Hula Bowl on Saturday, and life is good right here right now.
Heard a rumor it's your birthday. Is it your birthday today, Baldy?
It's my birthday today, yeah.
Happy birthday, brother.
Hell yeah.
Wizards live backwards at times, so I got a year younger this year, man. So,
well, I see how you live life, man. You live life like you get a year younger every year. So when we look, Baldy, just sort of a general NFC question. When we look at sort of the landscape of the NFC, where do you see the Eagles in that landscape as far as, ability to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, it's wide open. It really is wide open, Spike. I mean, you could pick out games for any of these teams, Rams, Seahawks, Chicago, where they've looked very, very good but not unbeatable, San Francisco. And then you've seen other games where you go, oh, okay, they got flaws. So I think everybody's a little bit flawed. You want to look at Seattle, what they did in San Francisco, it's great, but that quarterback has been flawed. I've seen him turn the ball over far too many times in big spots, and everybody's sort of holding their breath on that. San Francisco's defense has been weakened throughout the year, and their offense got shut down last week. So, you could go through the whole landscape, Spike, and you can find weaknesses in any team. And, you put together a good stretch, any of these teams could run through it right now.
It's funny. I think everybody agrees as a team. Well, you might not. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that the Rams are probably the best team. But I think there's a chance they could look back on this year, and it's probably why McVay ended up firing the special teams guy mid-season, which is not a very McVay move, is they might look back at this and say, man, we had the number one seed, and the fact that they're going to have to go on the road 3 times just to get to the Super Bowl is one of the things I think that makes the NFC more wide open than it might be otherwise.
Yeah, look, you got to make hard decisions. Obviously the 2 field goals blocked against the Eagles, some other things, but they went to Carolina, a couple weeks ago, and they got beat.
Yep.
I saw them. I think their corners are average at best. And when the Eagles were down 26-7, they attacked their corners.
Yep.
And Emmanuel Forbes couldn't stop A.J. Brown the whole day, whole second half.
Yep.
So, they got weaknesses. Now, if you got to block Jared Verse and Kobe Turner and, some of these guys, Josiah Stewart, some of these guys up front, but you block them up front, you can have success on the back end of that defense.
Yep. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Baldy, just speaking of defense, it almost seems like it's obviously an offensive league, but I look at these 14 teams, both sides of the conference, and, there's about 7 or 8 of these teams that their defense is certainly a big part of their team. I guess the long way to the question is, could this be a year where the defense sort of leads to a championship? That's that old adage of defense wins championships. But this could really be a year where the team with the best defense winds up winning this thing.
Sure. I thought that's what the Eagles were last year.
Yeah.
That's why I thought they'd go 4-0 in the postseason.
Yeah.
I thought they had the best defense. They took the ball away. They had 13 takeaways in a postseason. That was an NFL record. So if you're taking the ball away and you're playing great defense in this business, offenses, you saw San Francisco's offense last Saturday night, what came to a screeching halt. They were the hottest offense in football.
Yep.
And they ran into a great defense with a really good defensive-minded coach and Mike McDonald, a really good scheme with great players that play it. I totally think that we're going to see some of these playoff games with good defensive teams. We could see outcomes 17-13. I firmly believe that. I don't think we're going to see track meets in some of these playoff games going up and down the field with each other.
Yep.
So when you look at the Eagles in the playoffs, and let's say it ends one of these weeks, what do you think would be the reason that the Eagles don't win a football game? What is the biggest concern?
Well, the biggest concern is, this offense has taken long naps, just stretches of games where they don't produce, and we've seen it too frequently throughout the year, and that would be my concern. Now, the question last week was whether to rest or to play. And what I hear is the guys that rested feel really good. And had they played, maybe they don't feel as good as they do. Now, maybe that's just a mental thing. But I feel like a lot of these guys on the defensive line, offensive lines, they feel a lot better right now having rested, and maybe that produces a much better performance, and maybe they get some movement on the offensive line, and, Saquon gets some, runways to go through and whatnot. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I feel like this should be a game where they should control everything. But to answer your question, it's just the offense just, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, like we've seen too many times throughout the year. That'd be my concern.
Yeah. Is there anything that Cal can do? And we know he's a brilliant offensive mind, but he's down a few players, particularly on the outside. Where do you think he tries to sort of exploit or take advantage of something the Eagles are doing defensively? Because he's not going to win this game Sunday because of his defense. It's going to be his offense, I would imagine.
Well, the offense runs through McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get him many touches last week because they just couldn't sustain offense. But, they're going to get McCaffrey out there in space. Ike, against Zach Vaughn, against, Jihad, whoever's, against linebackers or safeties. They're going to get him matched up out there. The quarterback is really sharp. He really knows what he's doing. Trent Williams will be back in there. They'll protect a little bit better, give him an extra tick. They should be fully healthy. I think the whole offense for San Francisco should be really healthy. They'll have a good game plan. They'll find some weaknesses. Dory will be back in there, I'm sure. They want to go test him and see, how what he's like.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think they fear Quinyon over there, but I think they're going to attack some weaknesses, perceived weaknesses, anyways. And if I'll say this, Ike, if McCaffrey has between 25 and 30 touches in this game, Cisco's going to be in this game to the end.
Well, the Eagles have done a good job of making sure that the other team's in the game at the end, no matter how they play. Their defense, now the Niners' defense down a bunch of players, has not been effective from a number standpoint. If you're the Eagles, what are you going out there trying to do against the Niners' defense? How are you attacking it?
Well, the strength of their defense is that Robert Saleh gets these guys to play incredibly hard. I mean, they do play hard, and they do hit. Now, I don't know who's playing linebacker for them because the top 3 linebackers are all out. Maybe Curtis Robinson is in there now. He's played a couple games this year. Maybe D. Winters is back. I mean, it's Taylor Bethune went out last week for the season. So they're shortchanged, but they do play hard. They don't have – look, they have 20 sacks in 17 games. They don't have pass rushers. Bryce Huff is their best pass rusher. He couldn't get on the field in Philadelphia last year. So I think that the worst thing you could do is just underestimate anybody. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
You allow Renardo Green, or Diamondor Lenore to go pick off a lazy out route or a poorly thrown ball. Like they'll do it. They know how valuable possessions are. I would expect something in the kicking game, some kind of a fake. They're going to try and steal a possession at some point. They'll probably go for it on 4th downs more than they are accustomed to, trying to possess the ball as long as they possibly can, try to shorten the game to maybe 8 possessions. I mean, there's a lot of things Kyle can do in his little bag of tricks that, can make this thing a more competitive game or more competitive than it looks like it should be. But defensively, I mean, they just turn on any game. They get 8 guys to the ball every play. Like, they do play the game the right way. They're just not that talented right now.
So both of these teams have a really good head coach quarterback combo. Baldy is the general manager, and he has his pick of 2 to start his franchise with one quarterback head coach combo or the other. Either it is Shanahan or Purdy, or it is Sirianni and Hurts. Which one would you pick?
It wouldn't even be close. It'd be Sirianni and Hurts. We're talking about, 2 guys that have been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, and been to other big games and been in the playoffs every single year together. That's not even I wouldn't even have a debate with that.
Really? You wouldn't even have a debate?
No, not even a debate.
So how
One
much?
guy's done it.
What's that?
One guy's done it. One guy's trying to do it. One guy's trying to get over the hump. One guy's trying to. No, when you've done it and you've been there, they never take that away. It never goes off your resume. That's what it's all about.
I suppose one of the things building a franchise is that when your head coach, just the way I would think about it on the other side, if your head coach is the guy, is also the offense guy, you're not doing this thing every year where you are chasing offensive coordinators and sort of chasing consistency. And that advantage, I think, is a pretty strong one in Shanahan's favor.
Well, I mean, look, Shane Steichen left in large part because of Jalen's success.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are getting jobs because Jalen's good. And he knows how to lead, and he knows how to play in big games. So, I mean, that's why they haven't had a lot of consistency there. They've had to replace a lot of guys over the years, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of the business. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle's lost a lot of good coaches too over the years.
Yep.
So it's to be expected. But I mean, look, Kyle's a great mind, and we need Kyle Shanahan in this league. We need Brock Purdy in this league. Like we need great coaches, great coordinators. We need great quarterbacks. Otherwise, this league is like unwatchable. So no, but to answer your question, I wouldn't hesitate in taking Jalen and Nick at this point.
So fair to say you think the Eagles, this is a football game the Eagles should win on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they should win this game.
All right, Baldy.
I mean, it's just the talent level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, if Nick Bosa is out there and Fred Warner's out there, and so like, you know, some of these guys are out there, it might be a little bit closer talent-wise, but right now, it's not a, you know, talent-wise, it's not a close matchup. It doesn't mean San Francisco can't win the game.
Yep.
It'd be disappointing for any Eagle fan or player or coach or anybody in the organization if the 49ers come here and win.
All right, Baldy. Well, hopefully next Wednesday we're talking to you about the next round and Eagles Bears or potentially Eagles Rams.
Yeah.
That would be an exciting one either way. Or well, no, we
Yeah.
wouldn't. Would we play? I guess we could play Carolina, right? If Carolina wins and Green Bay wins, right. All right, Baldy. We will talk to you next week. Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. You got it, man. Enjoy the game.
There is the great Brian Baldinger, our Odyssey NFL insider, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Call is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.